Afternoon guys, hope you're well. So today I'm going to do an update on the workshop, bit of a tour. Not sure how long it will be. I'll try to go into some depth because I know that's what some people are really after. So I think the last time I did a workshop tour was maybe about 5 or 6 months ago, which quite a few things have changed. More equipment's been added and just general stuff. So I'll just go through it. Some people know this is the garage. If you go through there, you see the garage door. So I need to get this bit aligned to seal this room. But not a massive workshop, but a good size for what I need to do. So you come in the door, you have a selection of ear protection, eye protection, and face mask, which is important when working with wood. A lot of dust can be harmful. Briar, I don't think it's that bad. Obviously, you still don't want to inhale it because it's quite thick dust. But should always wear a mask when working with wood. Get to the bandsaw, which I never had until about 4 months ago, and it just makes a world of difference. I mean, every project, whether it be pipe making cigar rests, cigar ashtrays, pipe ashtrays, stands, anything. To cut something on this compared to by hand is night and day. And there's a lot of things I make today which I couldn't do without having a bandsaw. Bandsaw's connected to this industrial hoover, so I turn that on every time the bandsaw is on. It's connected out the back, so all the dust gets sucked down and reduce the mess. Got my Japanese saw there, which is fun to play with. Doing certain cuts and certain more finer wood projects. It's my source of heat in the workshop. This is our oil radiator. And because the bit of effort I went into over the last kind of 6-8 months insulating the workshop, insulating the garage door, it means that I've only had the heating on, I don't know if you can see that, for about 15-20 minutes. It's up to 17 degrees Celsius. Not sure what it is in Fahrenheit, but it's nice and warm in here now. And that can easily get up to 20 or so in 20s. But I don't like to work in that heat. Then we get on to tobacco. This is still a work in progress. These are my jars. This is a work in progress in the sense of they need to be stored properly, not just on this workbench. It's fine for here now because there's a few bits of equipment which haven't gone here yet, which will in the future. So I need to get these up, ideally onto a wall. There's a few people in the YTPC which have the jar racks, which I really want to get my hands on. They don't really make anything, so I'm going to make that by hand. That's a project which I'm going to start in the next few months. So these are just some of the open jars. I've got more in these 2 drawers here. So there's just a few blends, and behind them just empty tins, which I'll keep because eventually I want to do maybe one of these walls kind of have a section covered with the lids to kind of represent different blends on that. But I just keep them out of the way for now, it's fine. 2 vices, that's more smaller vice for say cigar rests and smaller projects like tampers. This is a more industrial sized vice for larger projects. This is an 8-inch vice, so decent size. Nothing I make or do requires anything larger than that. This box is full of offcuts, kind of stuff like that. Just offcuts of briar, mainly slabs of briar, which should be good for kind of making, say, like a base for a pipe. You'd have a pipe stand, matching tamper, stuff like this is always just good to keep instead of just thrown away. Then we get to the newest part of the workshop. This workbench completed it. It's 98% complete, we'll put a few struts here to add more structural support to the workbench on our side, to give it more brace. Apart from that, this is completed. Simple, very simple rustic workbench. It's the kind of thing where you could buy something this size in, but with the prices of wood, companies charge a fortune for workbenches. So it's much more financially sound to build your own than this I've done here. Very simple, just raw timber, plywood top, simple CL16 wood. So this workbench is a carry on from this one, as there will be a few more bits of equipment, and I just needed more space dedicated. So this is where all the hand sanding gets done, finishing, staining process. You can see a selection of stains there. This finished the other day. This is so, I take a pipe, where the pipe's getting stained, it can dry there, or if you're finishing a pipe you just want it to rest, you can just sit up there, slightly different heights. It's a very simple project, but comes in really handy. Project on the go, bent billiard. This is an earlier pipe. This stubble and stem was drilled and partly carved probably 2 months ago. For some reason I never got around to it. I had no idea why. I think this would be a bit for myself. Again, perfectly drilled. It's just an earlier pipe. So I think I'll keep that, slowly working that over time. Again, I've got no idea how it just ended up. I found it one day and realised it was a perfect pipe. It was just taken off the lathe. As you can see, this junction here, you don't want to carve any further down because you'll hit the shank. So you turn it apart on the lathe and you shape it on the wheel, the rest of it. So yeah, briar jaws, fantastic, love these jaws. So that's workbench, got my few pipes, filters. But yeah, so this is, as you can see, all got its first marks of black stain. This bench, I'm sure in time will be covered in marks, but that's what it's used for. It's used for staining, hand sanding, finishing a pipe, drawing, so carving our block, the odds and ends. And we get to the mainstay of the workshop, which is the lathe. As you can see, this is an Accents, the AC37WL. This is a bit of a beast of a lathe. I actually purchased this at the perfect time. Very fortunate enough where I did. This lathe today, from when I bought it, costing about an extra £250. I'm assuming from when I bought it, back in June, I think. Either the raw materials in the lathe have gone up, or Accents have just changed the pricing of some of their lathes. But yeah, I mean, if I was to buy this lathe today, I couldn't afford it, as in I couldn't just go out and buy it. This wasn't in my price range if I was buying it today. So, like I say, very thankful that I managed to get this when I did. It's a foolproof lathe, should last me not forever. Well, that's just suppose so. If it's built to high standards, then it should, because it's a full standing lathe. It's what I wanted because of the size of the workshop. I don't have a lot of space. So if, for example, I wouldn't necessarily have a lathe this length, but if you say it stopped there, it would have taken up most of this workbench. At the time I didn't have this workbench, so there would have been a lot of space. So yeah, absolutely fantastic lathe, variable speed, which is what you want. Behind you can see a variation of drill bits, drill chuck, centres, different airway bits, chamber bits. All we need, Then turning tools. I'm very fussy when it comes to turning tools, in the sense that it's like anything, if you buy quality, that's all you should need. So this is a set of Robert Sorby, which is one of the best names in the game. This is their not their entry level set, but it's kind of their starting turning set. If you're wanting to start turning wood, say bowl blanks, plates, that's what a lot of people think of when you turn wood. This is the perfect kit. Got your gouges, your skews, parting tools, scrapers, everything that you need to kind of get started. This is the point of this set. That's fantastic. Very high quality. Again, should last you a very, very long time. Down here, this shelf, by the way, pointless in the sense that I've tried to tidy it up, but the amount of dust and just the wood shavings that gather there is immense. It's like, you would think it's quite nice to kind of have a bit of extra space, but it just gets covered with wood shavings. So we've got a few centres, a few tools for the chuck. That box got a few pipe accessories, kind of ivorite, got sanding discs, sanding box, sanding discs which are used on lathe. Underneath, a selection of briar, bigger blocks in that one, small blocks in that one, a few rods of rod stock, ebonite and a crack. On any one time I have about 30-40 blocks of briar I've got to hand. In that box there, some really, really nice blocks. Managed to get my hands on some grade 2 Mimo briar at a fantastic price, which I was very fortunate enough to. So there's a few blocks in there which will get saved down the line, because there's potential for some gorgeous pipes out of it. You come here, underneath that folder where I keep reference photos, you have a big mound of sandpaper, going through all the different grits from I think 40 up to 1400 sandpaper. You especially with pipes, you don't realise how much sandpaper you go through. I mean, sandpaper is not inexpensive at all. Especially here in the UK, I don't know what it is in the States, but I found here in the UK, it's steep. Also, obviously, it depends on the quality of sandpaper that you buy. A lot of mine's 3M, which obviously is a brand most people have heard of, but again, their sandpaper is high quality, but not inexpensive at all. We go down to this drawer where we've got different buffing wheels, compounds, Canuba, Tripoli, White Diamond, different wheels for those, lint-free gloves, which you see me wear with a lot of the pipe videos, although they don't really stay very white. Should probably get myself about 10 pairs of these. So yeah, that's in that drawer. And then in this drawer, selection of chisels, files, odds ends, bits of odds ends, smaller chisels, larger chisels, hacksaw. This is essential. If you use files, you need to make sure they're cleaned. Wire bristle brush. Unfortunately, the annoying thing is if these come out and stay on your workbench, you'll get them in your hands, as for some reason I do quite often. Underneath that, it's just a selection of files, drill, hand drill, bits and bobs. That is diamond sharpening plates, 600, 400 and 300 grit, just to hand sharpen certain chisels. That's done there. Drill bits if you want to do. It's a makeshift bin. I think that's relatively it. Yeah, it's came along really well. Got my Cuban flag, as you know, I'm big into cigars. Bit of a mess, but that's the thing. If you come here, the dust. I've tried to tidy up. Glenn, Drop Bear Woodworks, he would appreciate a more tidy workspace. But the floor over there is just, you hoover when they tidy up, within 3 or 4 days it's back to the same. So I try and keep this area much more tidy, but behind the lathe it's just pointless. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed a detailed look at the workshop. I hope to maybe make this kind of a annual thing, maybe every 6 months or so, do a workshop update, as I was sure things will constantly evolve and change. So yeah, hope you guys are well, hope you've enjoyed that. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.